Okay, so just see in your 11th standard textbook how the upper triangular matrix look. You have to get triangle in this formation only. Okay, okay, so just revise this concept, you'll understand it better. So let's continue. So I have done this, so let's solve. So it is 1 and 2 as it is. Okay, now 3 minus 0, 3, it becomes 0, and 4 minus 6 is minus 2. So you have converted this into upper triangular matrix. Okay, now lower triangular will be in this formation. This will be a lower triangular matrix. Okay, this is the difference between upper triangular and lower triangular matrix. Okay, now your eighth sum says convert the given matrix into an identity matrix. Now before doing this particular sum, I want to revise you all with the concept what is inverse. Okay, I'll just explain you. For that, I'll just share you the screen. Okay, before sharing, I'll just explain you what exactly inverse is. Okay, see inverse. Suppose if I say 8. Okay, so 8, I can write it as 1 by 8, because you can say this 8 and 1 by 8 has a relation, and that is known as what? Reciprocal, right? That is reciprocal. So somewhere your inverse of a matrix is the same idea as reciprocal of a number. Okay, I'll just consider a matrix now. Suppose consider a matrix. Okay, consider a matrix. So if I consider A, okay, so what will be if I use the same reciprocal idea? So your inverse will be 1 upon A. This is nothing but A raised to minus 1 as per your indices, right? Right. So now suppose I'll use the same logic. Suppose if I multiply a number by its reciprocal. Example, a number. Suppose I take a number 8 only and I multiply it by its reciprocal. What I get? I get 1. Okay, I get 1. So can I do the similar concept with my matrix? Yes, I can do that, right? So if I multiply matrix to its inverse, what should I get? So in terms of matrix, what should I get? Identity matrix, which is like 1 for matrices. Okay, in case of matrices, it is 1 means your identity matrix. So I can say it is A into A inverse is equal to I. That means to get an inverse, I have to convert the given matrix into identity. So this whole concept I'll explain you all. Okay, this whole concept I'll explain you all. Identity matrix can be in this form, which is 2 cross 2. Okay, or it can be in 3 cross 3 as well, depending upon which type of matrix is given to you. Okay, so let's see the definition. Let's see the definition. Now definition of inverse of a matrix. Okay. A into 1 by A, which I explained you all right now. Okay. On multiplying the matrix and its inverse, we get an identity matrix. So suppose this 1 upon A, if I say it is equal to B. Okay. So it is AB is equal to B. So if A is a square matrix of order n, and if there exists another matrix B of the same order such that you get AB is equal to BA is equal to I, that means B is called the inverse of A. Okay, so this is your definition of inverse of a matrix. So symbolically it is denoted as A inverse, that is A raised to minus 1. Okay, now there's a note, you need to remember this. In order to invert any matrix, what do you mean by invert? If you want to find any particular matrix has its inverse or not, see, every matrix cannot have its inverse. Okay, to have inverse, a matrix should be a square matrix, and this particular condition, if you see on the screen, the condition determinant of A should not be equal to 0. Determinant of A should not be equal to 0. In that case only you can invert any matrix. That means you can find any particular inverse for given matrix. Okay, or you can say the inverse exists. The matrix should be a square matrix. Okay, and it should have this condition, that is determinant of A should not be equal to 0. That means it should be a non-singular matrix. Okay, it should be a non-singular matrix. Okay, so next note which you need to keep in mind is, if A is a square matrix and the determinant of A is not equal to 0, then its inverse, that is the matrix B which you will get, will be unique. Okay, it will be unique. It will not there will be not 2 or 3 inverse. You cannot have many possibilities of inverse. There will be one single possibility and one single inverse existing. Okay, and that will be unique. Now I'll just take an example how to find whether the matrix is invertible. Just now I have explained you all. That is, your determinant of that particular matrix should not be equal to 0. So let's solve that. So consider this matrix which is given to you, and remember the condition. In order to invert, your determinant of A should not be equal to 0. So let's find the determinant. Okay, so you know how to find the determinant, right? 1 ones are minus 0 into 0. So it is 1 minus 0, which is 1, and that is not equal to 0. So just because it is not equal to 0, it is satisfying the condition, right? So a square matrix is said to be non-singular if determinant of A is not equal to 0. As I said before, it should be a non-singular matrix. So if A is a non-singular matrix, hence A inverse exists. That means you can invert this particular matrix. The given matrix has its inverse. So every time when the question is find the inverse of the following matrix, first thing what you have to do is you have to find the determinant of that particular matrix. You know how to find the determinant of 2 cross 2 also and 3 cross 3 also. If you don't know, then just let me know in the WhatsApp group. I'll send you the example. Okay, so let's see how to find inverse of matrix. Now this is the question, how to find inverse of matrix. So to find the inverse, you need to convert, as I explained you all in the book, saying that to find the inverse, you need to convert the given matrix into an identity matrix. You need to convert the given matrix into an identity matrix. So let's do that. So how to reduce a matrix to identity. So I'm going to tell you a few steps that you need to follow for all the matrix. If you're going to follow, it will be very easy. Because when I said that you have to convert into an identity matrix, you know the position of the identity matrix, right? The diagonal elements are 1 and all other elements are 0 except diagonal elements, right? So don't go to change any particular element randomly. there's a particular flow which you need to follow so that you get a proper identity element along with the inverse matrix. Okay, so let's see the steps. Suppose you have this n cross n matrix with you. Okay, and you need to convert this n cross n into an identity matrix of n cross n of the same order. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm considering over here purposely 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay, so in this matrix you need to convert it into an identity matrix. Okay, so let's try to reduce this. Okay, so for reducing you're going to use the elementary transformation method. That means you're going to use these particular operations, the 6 basic operations which I have taught you all. Okay, so let's go ahead. By row transformation method, we are going to reduce the matrix into an identity matrix. So let's see. This is the matrix. Okay, first thing what you have to do, you have to reduce your A11, that is first row first column element, to 1. Okay, this is the step. First thing is you have to convert this into 1 and then perform column conversion. That means you have to follow the column. Okay, then you have to move to A21 and A31 by reducing them to 0. Okay, you have to reduce this to 0. So what was your first step? Your first step is to convert A11 element to 1 and the elements which are below them, you have to convert 0. This is the first step. Okay, now the second step. Second step is you need to reduce, you have to go to the second column now, and in the second column, your diagonal, according to your diagonal elements, your A22 is 1, right? So first you have to convert that into 1. You have to reduce A22 element to 1. Okay, and then you have to convert A12 and A32 to 0. Okay, so again I'm going to the column flow only. Okay, so after doing this second step, you have to go to the third step. And third step is you have to first convert your A33 element to 1. Okay, A33 element to 1. And then these two elements, that is A13 and A23, these two elements you have to convert to 0. So these are the steps. If you follow this step, you can easily convert any given matrix into a identity matrix by row transformation. This what I explained you all is through row transformation. Okay, make sure why I'm mentioning this again and again, because column transformation, the flow is different. Okay, the flow is different, that I'll explain you all in the next coming lecture. Okay, so now if you see over here, I've easily converted by following this particular steps. So just I'll show you all the flow. Okay, so row transformation has a flow. These are your elements. First what you did, A11 element, you have to make sure A11, A22 and A33, these elements you convert into 1 first whenever you're moving to each column. Okay, whenever you're moving to the second column, your first step is to convert 1. Okay, the middle element to convert 1, and when you're moving to the third column, the last element to convert to 1. That is the first step when you move to each column. Okay, so this was the flow, if you remember. First we converted A11. Okay, we converted A11 to 1, and these two elements you have to convert to 0. And then you have to move to A22. This you have to convert to 1. And then you have to move to A32 or A12. Any of the element will do. Okay, but you have to convert this to 0. And from this, you have to shift to A33. You have to convert this into 1. And then you have to do the last two changes, convert this to 0. So this flow, if you will follow, you will not get confused that which number is left to convert, or because what happens is when you use transformation to change one particular position, your other position number also changes. So when you follow this particular thing, that will happen, but not like very widely. It will happen very rarely, or you can say it will not happen only if you follow this particular step. But if you go to randomly change any particular number, then what happens is when you use other transformation, that time already changed element can change again. Okay, so it is a waste of time. You will be in a recurring mode trying to change the element into 1 and 0, and you will get into that particular, you will stuck into that sum. Okay, okay, got it. So I'll just explain you all the 8th sum with the help of this flow. Okay, now I've explained you all in the PPT 3 cross 3 matrix, but in your exercise, you have 2 cross 2 matrix if you can see. Okay, now this is the matrix given to you, that is let A is equal to 1, 2, minus 1, 3. Okay, this you need to convert into identity matrix. So what will be your I? Your I will be 1, 0, 0, 1. So you have to change this matrix into an identity matrix. This matrix into an identity matrix by using row transformation. That is the reason I've explained you all first the row transformation. Okay, so to do that, first thing what you have to do is you have to check whether the inversion is possible. Okay, so you need to find your determinant of A. So let me find your determinant of A. So that is what it will be, 3 minus minus 2, which is 5. It is not equal to 0. That means your A is non-singular. Your A is non-singular matrix. So A inverse exists. You can write this. A inverse exists in the sense you can convert this into an identity matrix. Okay. So what you can do, this is your A. So what was the step? What was the flow? If you remember there the you had 3 rows and 3 columns. Here you have 2 rows and 2 columns, but the steps are similar. Okay, what is the first step? To convert the first element to 1, but in this case it is already 1, so you are safe. Okay, what was the second? The first step is to convert this into 1 and the below element 0, so your task is to convert 0. Your task is to convert this 0. Okay, so what operation I can use to convert this 0? So let me do that. So R2 I have to change. So R2 minus, that is 2 minus 2 I want, right? So there is 1 in the first row, so I can multiply 2 to this 1, so I'll get 2 times R1. Okay, I'll get 2 times R1. So if I apply this, what will happen? Your first row will be as it is. Okay, nothing you're going to do with the first row. Second column, the second row, what will happen? It is 2 minus 2 times R1. So 2 times R1. What is your corresponding element of R1? That is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. Now what will happen to your second element of second row? So I'll write 3. So that is R2, 3 minus 2 times R1. So what is your R1? R1 is minus 1. So it will become minus 1 over here. Okay. So your R1 changes to 1 minus 1 as it is. This is 0. And this will become 3 plus 2, which is 5. So your first flow is completed. You have reached this flow. Okay. Now what was the next step? Next step is to shift to next column. So when you're going to next column, your first concern is to make 1. Okay. So which place you need to change now? You need to change this place. So what you can do to change 5 into 1? How you can replace 5 into 1? Okay, so what I will do is I'll multiply reciprocal of 5 to it. Okay, that means I'll change R2. R2 changes to 1 upon 5, 1 upon 5 R2. Now why I'm multiplying something to R2? Because if I multiply anything to 0, my 0 will be remaining as it is. My 0 will remain as it is. So that is the reason I'm multiplying. And in that case, when I multiply with 5, 1 upon 5 into 5, so 5 gets cancelled, so I get 1 over here. Okay, so that was my technique. So I can apply this transformation. Okay, I can apply this transformation over here. So your first row will be as it is because we are doing the transformation in your second row. Okay, in which row you are doing transformation, that has to be written like this. Okay, so it will become 0 and this will become 1 because 1 upon 5 into 5 becomes 5. 5 gets cancelled and your answer is 1. So now this step is done. Okay. So as per the flow, you have to see your first column. You got your 1, you got your 0. Now in the second column, you got your 1. Now your concern is to get 0. Your concern is to get 0. So now over here you have minus 1. Okay. So how you can convert minus 1 into 0? What operation you can use? Obviously you have to use the operation in row 1, so you have to make sure whatever transformation you are using it, that transformation should not disturb your second or the changed column. Okay, the first row element and the second row element should not happen anything with those elements, so such a transformation you need to apply. So what you can do, you can see over here there is minus 1. Suppose if I add R1 and R2. Suppose if I add R1 and R2. So what is 1 plus 0? 1 plus 0 is 1 plus 0 is 1, right? And minus 1 plus 1 is 0. Minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So what I can do? What I can do over here? I can use R1 changes to R1 plus R2. Okay. So your A changes to, now your second row elements will be as it is. Okay. So R1 plus R2, your R1 changes to R1 plus R2. So what is your R1? 1. And the corresponding element of R2 is 0. So it is 1 plus 0. So R1 is minus 1 and corresponding element of R2 is 1. So it is plus 1. Okay, this is what the change you're doing in your R1. So is similar to A is similar to 1, 0, 0, 1. So this is what you converted into an identity matrix. So this way you can convert any particular matrix into an identity matrix by using row transformation. Okay. I hope you understood these concepts. Okay. Now if you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you want me to show one 3x3 example, I can show you all. Anyone has any doubt? Yeah, I'll upload this particular PPT. Okay. Today itself. If you want, I'll show one 3x3 so that you can understand the given row transformation technique. Suppose I'll take a matrix. 3, 2. Okay, I'll want to take screenshots. Fine. Okay, done. So I'll quickly solve one particular sum. Okay, now I have already seen the determinant. The determinant is not equal to 0. Okay, so that means A inverse exists. So what I'm doing over here is I'm just converting the given matrix into an identity matrix with the flow which I explained here. Okay. So what is the first task? First task is to get 1 at this position, right? You have to get 1 at this position. But if you see there is a second row has 1 over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to interchange it. So R1 interchanges to R2. R1 interchanges to R2. So I'm just going to shift all the elements of R2 to R1. So I'll get 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 6. So I've shifted these two and your row 3 will remain as it is. Okay, done. And what was the second step? Your second step was to get the zeros over here. So this was the one and then get zeros below. Okay, we are moving column wise. So get zeros over here. So for that, you have to get over here 3 minus 3 and here you have to get 2 minus 2 and you have 1 over here for the helping sake, right? So you can use two transformation together which says R2 changes to R2 minus 3R1 because 3 ones are 3. So it becomes 3 minus 3 0, right? So here you will get 0 and R3 changes to R3 minus 2R1. Why 2R1? Because here it is 2 because I want 2 minus 2 0. So when I do this, this 2 becomes 0 and obviously these two elements also will change as per the transformation. So what you will get over here, first your first column will first row will be as it is. Okay, this 2 will easily become 0 as per this. Now let's work on this. So this becomes R2, so it is 2 minus 3. Okay, 2 minus 3 which is minus 1. Then it is 6 minus 3 twos are 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Okay, now I'll do the changes in R3. I'll do the changes in R3. Okay, so R3 minus 2R1. So what is your R3? 2. 2 minus 2. So 2 minus 2 becomes 0. 2 minus 2 becomes 0. Now 5. 5 minus 2 twos are 4. So 5 minus 4. Okay, this is your 5 minus 2 into your R2, R1 element corresponding to R3 is 2. So 2 twos are 4. So 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So this way you can at a time use two transformations for two different rows. Make sure you're using for two different rows and these two different rows to change, you're taking the help of the same row, that is R1, which is the individual one, which you're not doing anything. Okay, so for that reason only I'm able to use both the row transformation together. So see, your first task is completed. Your first task is completed. Now you have to move to the second column. So second column, your first step is to get 1 over here. But if you see the element, the matrix which you got, you have minus 1 over here. Okay, so simply what you have to do is multiply your R2 with minus 1. So it becomes plus 1, right? Very simple. Very simple. So it becomes, now if you multiply anything to 0, it doesn't matter. That is the reason we are doing this particular transformation. Okay, so it becomes positive 1. Okay, now after this you have to make the, now I've made this is already 0. If you see, your below element is already 0. I have to make the above element 0. I have to make the above element 0. So I can take the help of row 2. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my R1. So it is R1 minus R2, because if I do this, 1 minus 0 is 1. So nothing will happen to this one. What I have already got it, it is safe and secure. Okay, so I'll apply this transformation. Okay, I'll apply this transformation. So what I'll get, your R1, this will be as it is. Your R1 will become what? Your R1 will become 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 2 minus 0 is 2. Okay. Now it is done. Now your first column task is done. Second column task is done. Now third column. So third column, your first task is to get 1. But if you see, there is already 1. So no need of any transformation to get 1. Okay. Then if it is already 1, you have to convert the zeros. So here also there is already 0. Right? So you have to convert your 2 into 0. That is the last task which is remaining. Okay. So that is very easy because you have 1 over here. You can take the help of this and convert this. Okay. So I'll use the row operation. So I'll change R1. So R1 changes to 2 times R3. I'll take the help of R3. So when I do this, so it is like 2 minus 2 times 1. Now this is 0. So anything you multiply with this 0, nothing will happen to these two elements. These two elements will be as it is. So this will become 0 and all other element is the same. So see, if you follow that particular summarized flow, that is this way. If you follow this flow, you can easily convert the given matrix into an identity matrix. Okay. So I hope you understood how to convert into an identity matrix. Okay. Using row transformation. So in the next class, I'll be teaching you how to convert the particular given matrix into identity matrix by column transformation. And then I'll explain you the steps to actually find the inverse of any particular matrix. Okay. So if you have any other doubt, you can ask.